Top of it, beautiful people. This your favorite cousin, Rich. It's currently 6:32 a.m., October 5th, 2024. And this is episode 35 of Rich Talks. Starting a little bit late today, but it's okay. Got to get it done, right? All right. So today, topic of discussion is the burden of knowledge. Is there a burden of being knowledgeable? Is there a burden of knowing things? Or is ignorance truly bliss? You know, that's the battle of being knowledgeable or being ignorant. This is a very tough battle of ignorance and being knowledgeable. I think it only becomes tough once you become knowledgeable. But the ending of being knowledgeable is not necessarily the tough part. I would say the tough part is not being knowledgeable. The tough part is being knowledgeable and not using the knowledge. See, ignorance is bliss when you don't know knowledge. You can blissfully go through life when you're ignorant. And we're not saying ignorant in a derogatory term. We're saying ignorant in a term of you just don't know. Ignorance as in not knowing. Okay? So, to show I have no ego, there's a lot of things that I'm ignorant in. Okay? So, boom. So, being knowledgeable is only good if you utilize the knowledge. So, some people you'll see who are knowledgeable will say, I wish I would never have known this information, or I wish I wasn't knowledgeable, or I wish I was still ignorant so therefore I could live in bliss and not knowing the truth about something, which may be true. But that is only true if, like I said, you're not utilizing the actual knowledge. So this is how it plays out. You're ignorant about a situation, so you're living in bliss. We've all done that. Now, you're knowledgeable about this same situation. Now you're stuck at a crossroads. You now know the truth. The truth now hurts, or the truth is now opening your eyes to something. So now that your eyes are open to this new thing that has developed, that has always been there, but now to you is new. So now that your eyes have opened to this new development, you may feel you're at a crossroads of being stuck because you don't necessarily want to know, or now the next moves that you have to make have to be conducive to you knowing this new information. But if you now, so now when you're in that position, you say, I wish I would never known this information. So now people would say, oh, I wish I didn't know this information. I wish I was still ignorant. Okay, cool. I get it. The only reason why they know that is because they're not using the applied knowledge now to move forward. That's, to me, is the only reason why people stay in the position or stay in the thought or the mind frame of ignorance is bliss. I wish I was still ignorant. I wish I didn't know. I hate that I know about this information. So let's put it in real world applications. When we talk about something as if dieting, right? When you're not necessarily knowledgeable about nutrition, you tend to want to eat everything, or you're not conscious of what you're eating. So now that you may become knowledgeable about certain foods or certain ingredients or something about nutrition, you hate that you're knowledgeable about it now. Because now the things that you once enjoyed, you can't enjoy them with your consciousness as you once did. So if you liked honey buns before, but now you know what honey buns are made of and how they may affect you, you don't want honey buns. Well, you look at honey buns differently, right? So now you wish, man, I wish I would have never known about this XYZ about honey buns. Fuck. so you can still live in ignorance and enjoy those honey buns and bliss. But now that you know the knowledge, you have to take it a step further and say, because now I know this information about honey buns, let me utilize this knowledge. So how do I utilize it? Now I can scale back how many honey buns I may eat in a given period. I can add certain exercise routines, or I can learn how to make healthy honey buns, or I can designate honey buns on this day. I can go to the gym to balance it out. You can do other things now that you're knowledgeable about how honey buns may affect you. So now when you equate that, being knowledgeable and using the knowledge to further yourself, or you stay in the, I wish I didn't know, now you choose which one. And I'm not going to say which one a forward progressive thinker would choose, but I think we all know which decision would be made when you're battling against using the knowledge, the applied knowledge now to move forward, or staying in the realm of the ignorance is bliss. I personally would say I like the fact that now I'm knowledgeable and I can utilize this new knowledge to move forward. I can apply it to move forward and not just know. See? So ignorance is bliss, yes, until you know the truth. Then the truth hurts. But the truth only hurts for that period when you're not utilizing the truth. Let's take it a step further. You may be in a relationship with somebody. And let's say your partner's cheating on you. And you say, man, I wish I had never known. Everything was going good. Now you're angry, you're upset. And now you even think, I wish I would have never known. And they just continue to do what they were doing. And we had a happy home, or you know what I'm saying? Everything was cool to you. Everything was cool. And now you know this information, and now you're upset. And now you wish you would have never known. So things can continue. But now that you're knowledgeable about the situation, so you moved from the sense of being ignorant to knowledgeable. Right? Cool. So instead of sitting where you are in the aspects or the realm of, I wish I didn't know this information, being ignorant, to now being knowledgeable about what's going on, the next step is, or you can stay where you are and just be knowledgeable about it. The next step is, okay, let me use this applied information that I have now, that I'm now knowing that this person is cheating on me. How can I move forward? Or how can I use this new information to move me forward? See, while you're in ignorance about your partner cheating, you were living a life like la, 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 right? But now that you know, now you can save yourself. You can protect yourself. You don't know if this person is having fun unprotected. You don't know what kind of, things that they may be into behind your back. You don't know if they're stealing money from you as well as cheating on you. You don't know if they're giving you a spiritual disease, giving you karma. You don't know what's going on, that you're tied to this person. So now you should be thankful for the knowledge that you know. So now you can go ahead and remove yourself from this situation, because you're knowledgeable and using the applied information now to better yourself, to move forward, to do what's best for you, to do what you need to do. So is ignorance always bliss? I would say somewhat, but then I would say no. Because that bliss can lead you down a dark road. That bliss that you believe, that ignorance and that bliss that's coming from it, you may think, it's good that you don't know certain things, which is easy on the conscience now, which is easy on the body now, but in the long run, you'll pay for it. Because like I said, if we go back to somebody cheating on you, you're in this ignorance of not knowing, but then guess what happens? Like I said, this person can bring a disease to you. This person could be wishing on your downfall and you never know it. But you'd rather stay ignorant about the information. Or you'd rather know and not stay ignorant. Like I said, once you're knowledgeable about a fact, you have two choices. You can remain ignorant about it and try to live in bliss, but now you can't live in as much bliss as you once did because now you know the information. So you can try to live in ignorance as you once did, or you can use this new knowledge of information and make a healthy smoothie and elevate yourself. But it's all up to you. It's all up to the person and how they choose and how they see fit. You know, it's just like when the police pull you over and they say something, you say, oh, I didn't know. What do they say? Ignorance of the law is not an excuse. And this is why I say ignorance is bliss may be cool, but being ignorant about a certain fact will be no excuse when the outcomes happen. Meaning being ignorant about how honey buns can affect you will be no excuse if you end up in the hospital, if you end up in the doctor's office and they say you have clogged arteries or you have diabetes. That ignorance will be no excuse when its day of reckoning happens. This is why I say ignorance can be bliss if you're not worried about an outcome. So should we live in ignorance? Honestly, I say no. I say we should know as much information about as many things as possible, especially things that affect us directly. That gives you a leg up in life. That allows you to move forward through life. See, once you're knowledgeable about honey buns, doesn't mean that you have to refrain from the honey buns. It's how you do the honey buns now. You may go from 4 honey buns a week to 1 honey bun a week. You may say, I'm only going to eat a honey bun when I go to the gym. Or you may say, okay, a honey bun is X amount of calories. I'm going to hop on a treadmill and burn these X amount of calories. Then I'm going to enjoy my honey bun. If I don't burn these calories, I have no honey bun. You see how that being knowledgeable about a certain information or being knowledgeable about these things can extend your life, can extend, your true bliss. And I think that's what it should be changed to. Ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is false bliss. Knowledge is true bliss. Because now you're able to handle reality. See, ignorance is not rooted in reality. The reality of not knowing the actual laws or the reality of not knowing these things is not, the ignorance of not knowing these things is not reality. It's not real. Because there are laws that govern certain things. So because you don't know it doesn't mean that it's not reality. It is reality. You're just not privy of that reality. You're living in a false reality. So you living in the false reality can have harmful real reality outcomes. The false reality that honey buns are, I guess, okay, can lead to the real reality of you having diabetes. Now, side note, I'm not picking on honey buns. I love honey buns. Especially in the microwave for about 5-10 seconds. Oh. So, this is why I say knowledge is number one. If you read the book, The Richest Man in Babylon, what did Solomon, or the main character, say? He said he wants knowledge and wisdom. Those are the two things he wants, knowledge and wisdom. See, once you're knowledgeable about things, that's the key that unlocks everything. It's that knowledge. Why do you think they say if you want to hide something from somebody, put it in a book? A book is not necessarily a book. A book is something knowledgeable. You have to read to become knowledgeable. You have to seek the information to be knowledgeable. So book and knowledge is the same thing. If you want to hide something from somebody, you have to put it in a way that they have to be knowledgeable to discover this thing. It just so happens that a lot of knowledge comes from what? Books. See? So if you want to hide something from somebody, put it in a place where they'd rather stay ignorant than find out the truth. Because as long as people will stay ignorant and stay in that blissful state that ignorance produces, they will never find the truth. The truth comes from being uncomfortable. Knowledge comes from being uncomfortable. But that being uncomfortable will lead to true comfort. Like I said, the false comfort that ignorance gives, that we believe is comfort, we believe being ignorant is comfortable or being ignorant is blissful. No, it's not. It's the false reality. But that truth comes from knowledge. That truth comes from being uncomfortable, seeking the knowledge, feeling with that uncomfortability, and then that is the true comfort that derives from that. I hope that's not too deep. I hope this is graspable. See, being knowledgeable allows you to make better decisions. Sometimes decisions that you don't necessarily want to make. Why? Because now it makes you uncomfortable. This is why we don't seek knowledge. Because when you seek knowledge, it forces change. And how many people want to change? Not many people want to change. Change is what? Uncomfortable. How many of us want to be uncomfortable? How many of us would rather sit on a bed of nails than sit on a nice, lush pillow? What if I told you that lush pillow was, had bed bugs and all kind of acids pouring on it and all that you couldn't see? But it was a nice pillow. That's what ignorance is. Granted, the bed of nails or the floor, let's not go that far. Let's say sleeping on the pillow versus sleeping on the floor. Sleeping on the floor is true knowledge and sleeping on the pillow is ignorance. So let's say the ignorance is the pillow, which is the false reality. So the false reality of thinking that this pillow is really a soft pillow is really a pillow filled with bed bugs and acids pouring on and all this stuff that you can't see, right? Okay, so being in the state of ignorance is bliss, you'd rather choose the pillow than sleep on the floor. The floor is the real reality, which seems uncomfortable. But that sleeping on the floor becomes even more comfortable once you know the truth. Once you know that sleeping on this pillow may kill me because it has all these diseases on it or these bed bugs or whatever. I'm not saying real pillows. I'm just saying for instance and context. Sleeping with this on this pillow or has all these things on it. It may harm me more than me just sleeping on this floor, which may not be visually comfortable right now because I'm used to this ignorance, but it may not be comfortable. But in the long run, I know that this is comfortable. Even though it may seem uncomfortable, this is the new comfort because I'm comforting myself in knowledge. So when you find something and you say, or you come across something and say, ignorance is bliss, until it doesn't work in your favor. Until that truth or until that bliss doesn't comfort you. That's the biggest thing. Because that truth that we all live in ignorance or we would think that is going to comfort us, that ignorance, like I said, that we think is going to comfort us, it's going to be a point in time where it's not. majority of the time, I should say, is going to become a point where it's not. Now, if something's done upon you and you're ignorant of the fact, it's a little bit different because it's done upon you and you don't know. It's the moment when it's realized. And now you know. Now it's a game changer. I think it's a tough pill to swallow. Because the truth is something. Well, I take that back. I think it's a tough. I think it's a tough pill to swallow if you're not prepared for the truth. If you're not prepared to even handle any sort of truth. I think it's a tough pill to swallow if you've always rooted yourself in ignorance and not truth seeking. I feel more so that it's a release once you're knowledgeable about a situation because now you can move differently. You can move better. I'll say this for me personally. I have ADHD. I was always ignorant to the fact of me having ADHD, and it's caused some big problems in my life, like big problems, right? So once I became knowledgeable about having ADHD, and I get to utilize the new information about having ADHD, I make better decisions. I make better choices. I live my life better. I have better outcomes because I'm no longer ignorant to the fact that I have ADHD. I was at a point in time just thinking things were happening just because they were happening. And I was living in that ignorance. And that ignorance can stem, in that ignorance, things can stem thinking that you're haunted or, things just don't go your way or you're being targeted or, a whole bunch of things. A whole bunch of negative outlooks can happen or a lot of negative mindsets can come about if you're not prepared or if you're not rooted in the truth of what's going on. So the moment when I found out I had ADHD, boom, I wasn't ignorant, I was knowledgeable. I said, So now I quickly moved from being knowledgeable to utilizing new information. Instead of diverting back to being ignorant, I was able to use this new information and say, okay, now that I have ADHD, let me utilize these tools. Let me utilize this new thing that I found out and these things in order for me to overcome this instead of diverting back to being ignorant about what I may have and let it continue to, I wouldn't necessarily say ruin my life, but, have certain outcomes. Let's put a pause on certain outcomes that were happening. And that can go for a multitude of things. People who may not have the best of diets. Do you walk up a flight of stairs and are you super tired and winded? Or do you have a pain in your foot just randomly all the time? Like it just randomly comes about, but it's consistent, persistent. A pain. And you're ignorant about the pain. You don't want to look at it. You don't want to think about it. You just rather stay ignorant because you don't want to know the truth, because now you know they have the truth. Now you have to take further action. Even a hint. Some people have hints about things, but they rather, instead of going to go seek the knowledge, they rather live in the ignorance of it. Somebody knows their partner's been acting funny, hiding their phone, doing this, doing that, coming home late. Coming home at 7 o'clock smelling like fresh soap. Smelling like Dove at 7 o'clock at night and ain't been to no gym, no nothing. saying they just coming home from work. Or hurry up and say hello to you and then go hit the shower, Being ignorant about that and not seeking the truth, like I said, now what can happen? You can come up with a disease, or you may have your heart broken even more. All these type of things can derive if you're not seeking that information or that truth about what's going on. So is ignorance truly bliss? No, not at all. Now, I'm not saying you have to go snooping for the truth and things of that sort. I feel like when a hint comes about, it's the universe's way of starting to open up your eyes. When you have gut feelings, when you start thinking things, when you start, when your intuition starts ringing. Now it's time for you to start opening your eyes and start seeking for that truth even more, because the universe is trying to talk to you. It's trying to wake you up. But either you can accept it, now that's you accepting this knowledge that's trying to be put upon you, or you can deny it. And you deny it as you stand in what? Ignorance. And if you believe ignorance is bliss, it's cool. That's cool. But the more that you believe that ignorance is bliss, is the more and worse, or the more effect that outcome can have on you. The quicker you know that you have to limit your honey bun intake, is the quicker that you're going to have better health. The quicker that you know that your partners are being loyal to you, is the quicker that you get to find true happiness, true peace. So is there a situation or a time where ignorance is bliss? Yeah. When you're a baby. That's because your consciousness hasn't developed. At that point in time, you can't do for yourself. You can't think for yourself. You have to rely on other people. And you don't even know that you have to rely on other people. You just have to because of the state that you're in. So that's the only time where ignorance is bliss. But if you're not an infant, and you're at the point where you can start making conscious decisions, and you start moving and thinking for yourself, you can do for yourself, ignorance is no longer bliss. So I guess you would have to raise the age up from being an infant, because even small children, they're not privy to information. But I still stand on the moment that you're conscious about things, the moment that you start making your own decisions, you start doing for yourself, no matter what age, that's the moment where ignorance is no longer bliss. That's the moment where consequences and repercussions will happen if you don't take hold of actually knowing that knowledge. It could be a kid in school, and he may act like he doesn't know that there's homework, or he may not want to know that there's homework to be done. So that ignorance and not even asking or just being la 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 la, now he's falling behind in his education. So this isn't just for adults. This goes for everybody. Like I said, once you develop that consciousness. Now, ignorance is no longer bliss. That's when you have, it's almost like this spiritual hand has been, it's like a spiritual hand has been, relieved from you. And now it's you. Like a layer of protection has been removed, and now it's like play ball. So I'm not going to say it again. Seek knowledge. That's what I will say. Seek knowledge. If you're a conscious thinking human being, seek knowledge. As much knowledge as possible. Utilize that knowledge when it's useful. That's how you live a true, blissful, and peaceful life. Hope this talk helped somebody today. I love y'all. Y'all be safe. Love and blessings. Oh, excuse me. And this is episode 35 of Rich Talks. Is ignorance bliss? That's what I might title it. The burden of knowledge too is ignorance truly bliss. All right, y'all be safe. Take care.